Anyway, guys, welcome back to the live room, episode 9. Here we are.
What's going on, guys?
Almost
Episode
double
9.
digits.
The three amigos.
Double digits.
What?
Have you not heard that before?
That is like a very common phrase in Australian.
Really?
double
yeah.
digits, mate. That's what happens
I
when you
remember
turn
being
10.
like, yeah, exactly. When you're like in grade 3 or grade 4 or whatever, and like it's like the oldest kid in the class is turning 10 years old. There's one smart ass kid in the class like, oh, he's turning double digits.
He's a big kid now.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
we're episode 9.
Yeah, but I said we're almost at double digits.
Oh, way over my head.
We should probably have a celebration for the 10th episode of some description. I think it's a bit of a milestone.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't know what we'll do, but we should.
Yeah, just get a 6-pack of Bud. That's
Yeah,
about
that
it.
sounds fine to me.
Budweiser, you mean?
Budweiser.
Budweiser.
Not to be confused with Bud
Light.
Legume.
Did you know that in Germany they pronounce it Budweiser?
Budweiser. I love a Budweiser.
Yet it's American.
Budweiser.
Budweiser. Was it a
Budweiser.
German in America?
I don't know. Probably the guy who named it, or I think his name was like Anheuser Busch or something like that. Or I don't know. Not to be confused with George Bush.
Yeah, very easy to confuse.
Very, very easy to confuse.
The Bush family.
Sounds like some kind of sitcom. I suppose it probably was some kind of sitcom when you look back on it.
Maybe it depends on your political affiliation.
Yeah, it
Tyler.
does. It does indeed. I don't know what mine is.
I know what you would be, Tyler.
Do you?
Yeah.
Who would I have voted for in the last election?
You would
If
have.
Tyler was an American citizen,
Who would I have voted for in the last election?
You would have voted for Mickey Mouse.
I was going to
Correct.
say he would have donkey voted and went for Mitt Romney.
I
Wait,
should've-
no, that's not what I want to say. I want to say Bernie Sanders. Mitt
Yes.
Romney was a very old school Republican guy.
Oh, not that old school.
I
it was Obama administration, wasn't he?
no
Romney?
He was the
started
leader
it.
of.
He was the governor of Michigan, and he ran in the election prior to this one in 2012,
Yeah.
2013 campaign.
So Obama would have landslided him, no doubt.
Actually, not necessarily. It was
Oh.
pretty close. Yep, I got too hard into politics that year, and after the election, I found myself waking up on a cold side of the earth. If
You
get
ran
what I'm-
away to Australia.
If you get what I'm saying,
For sure.
I
for
woke
sure.
up and I was like, "Oh, my country's dead."
Yeah, we're currently experiencing that feeling right now in Australia.
Yeah, you've got like 30.
It
different
doesn't
prime
really matter
ministers.
what country you're in, man. It's the same story.
Oh, yeah.
Most of them,
I know. That's what it is.
Nobody's perfect.
unless you go to Mozambique or somewhere like that.
Mozambique.
Yeah,
Ah.
I don't actually know the political climate over there, but I'd assume it's pretty relaxed.
Supposedly it's pretty warm.
Yeah,
It's pretty warm political climate over there.
political climate.
Everyone's warm and receptive to each other.
Speaking of warm and receptive,
Yeah,
how
good.
is everybody?
Everybody's good. I
I'm
think,
quite
right?
warm and receptive.
Yeah.
Now that you mention it,
It's nice to kind of catch up.
I am in a
It
good
is.
mood though.
Yeah, I can tell.
yeah.
I
It's
can
all
tell.
like it's all as good as it is having a guest on the podcast. Like it's always fun learning from different people. It's kind of refreshing having just
it's
three of
nice
us again.
to go back to Questlove and the roots.
Yeah,
That's it.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
And some
I'm
back
assuming
into
on
free
Questlove.
nats.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you.
Ted
Thank you
Love.
very much. Ted
Yeah.
Love.
Ted Love. Oh, that's your next Instagram handle. for
Ted
sure.
Love.
Nah. My next one is Celine Dion official again for a third time. See if I get lucky.
How about you actually do it, Celine Dion, again for the third time? See if I get lucky. That's your
Probably fit.
That's
Super
your actual
elaborate.
Instagram handle, Celine Dion for the third time again. Whatever. I digress. Doesn't matter.
I saw this girl on Instagram the other day. Much like I see a lot of girls on Instagram the other day.
A lot of girls on Instagram.
But like some of the names and handles on some of these people, it's like they just have so many letters in their name. They're still doing that sort of MSN gimmick, how they might just have like 40 M's in a row.
Emily.
Even if it's just Emma or something like that.
Emma.
EMMA. MMA. There should be a
Electronic MMA.
There should be a UFC fighter called Emma, and that's like her walkout nickname and everything.
MMA. Emma Amundsen.
Emma Emerson.
It's a
Oh,
good
there you
fucking
go.
name. It's got a good ring to it.
Anyway.
We're doing a podcast, guys. Get our shit together.
Yeah, dude,
All
come
right.
on. What's going on? I'm not
All
in podcast mode. I'm just in kind of like hang out, chill out mode.
That's what
Yeah.
podcast mode is.
It's it's nice to have a little bit of downtime. I've been really busy again.
Mm.
I just started work on my third album this weekend.
Will, who with?
Nice.
Local musician by the name of Daniel Duggan.
Yep. The Dougster.
Or like they used to call him in the 70s,
Oh, the Dougster, of course.
Dig Dug.
Dig Dug.
Nice.
Nice.
Joke for you retro gamers out there.
Hey, that may be a little segue into our conversation.
Absolutely.
What are we talking about today, guys? What's
Foreshadowing.
happening?
We're talking about music, as always, in modern kind of pop culture, just daily life. You know, music is always there. You realize when it's not
Music
there.
isn't always just to listen to.
No,
Sometimes it's a part of a bigger picture.
for effect.
Background noise.
Yeah.
Think of elevators, for example.
I prefer
Or
elevators
movies.
without the music.
Or video games. All sorts of things have music in them.
Did you know that elevator music is an actual genre? What do they call it?
Elevator music.
Is it like a jazz variant?
It
or-
is. Speaking of jazz variants, you know the Cantina band in Star Wars?
Yeah.
Very familiar.
Do you know the genre of music they call that?
I heard this once in a trivia thing, but
Do
I
you
can't
know it?
remember.
They call it jizz.
Are you kidding me?
Yes.
Yes.
Why?
I don't know. I was looking up Star Wars like encyclopedia stuff like back when I was into Star Wars after the episode 8 or whatever. Just on the Reddit or whatever.
Yeah.
And there was a thread on there. It was like, did you know that they call the Cantina band's genre jizz?
To be fair, that is written by one guy on Reddit. Like, how official is it?
It's dead
I'd
set
believe it, though. I'd believe
official.
it.
Like George Lucas.
I remember stumbling upon this, actually, many moons ago.
No wonder I'm a Star Trek fan.
Yeah. Beam me up, Teddy.
Next album name.
Beam me up, Teddy.
Me just like this going into a UFO.
Honestly, I don't know why you haven't
Featuring
done that already.
EMMA.
But yeah, music is the thing that keeps us driving. Like I said, you notice it when it's there. Sometimes you don't notice when it's there, but you notice when it's not there.
You definitely do.
Similar to like I basically what I did today. I was like, hey guys, how about we do this as a topic? Because we had a guest, right? Pulled out on us. Turned out to be Andrew Stockdale from Wolfmother, funnily enough, but he just couldn't make it prior to commitment. So
Attempting to play overseas and such.
attempting, yeah. But yeah, I was like, hey guys, why don't we talk about this? So we were just talking about music for movies like vinyl that you have.
Yes.
What? Tell us about that. Tickle my
Alright.
ears, Jackson.
Well, went to JB Hi-Fi last weekend. It might have been 2 weekends ago.
Similar to Best Buy at home.
Similar to Best Buy. Shout out to the US audience.
Shout out to the nerd herd.
Yeah. I was in the vinyl rack, going through the vinyls as you do, flicking away. On a couple vinyls, there's a 2 for $50 deal, which is a decent deal, I guess, in
That's
Australia.
pretty good. That's pretty good.
2 vinyls, $25 a piece. It's okay if it's good.
For new
Yes.
vinyl, anyway.
30 standard, you know?
What got my attention though was I was basically born on the I was born and raised on Quentin Tarantino movies, just movies I really shouldn't have been watching as a child.
You actually almost look like Quentin Tarantino.
Thanks. That's a
Honestly,
compliment.
like
I have he's got a pretty mean jawline.
Do you
like,
also like feet?
I think he's a
like a more
that's
like-
not for this podcast.
like a more handsome version of Quentin Tarantino. Like Quentin Tarantino, like in a bad way, looks like a rat. But you look like his handsome brother that could be in GQ.
Yeah, you look like his
He's a
rap
bit-
brother with a gold tooth.
He's a bit more intense. He talks with his hands a lot more.
Yes.
He's really into movie magic.
And feet.
Yeah, and feet.
What is this?
He's got a big foot fetish.
He says that online, or
No,
like
if you just pay attention to his movies, there's
Really?
a subtle
There's-
reference to feet in.
It's not
all
even
of his
subtle.
movies.
Like, it's just feet
is
galore.
this people like discovered this like
All right,
watching?
all right. There is a movie called From Dusk Till Dawn.
Mhm.
Yeah.
He wrote it.
I've seen none of his movies. None of them.
Like he wrote the screenplay. He gave it to his friend Robert Rodriguez.
Mhm.
He made Sin City and a couple other
And
things.
Lucha
Yeah.
Underground.
And Lucha Underground, which is
Best show ever.
pretty awesome. Anyway, Quentin Tarantino, very known writer and director. He writes a movie,
Yep.
gets his friend to direct it so he can act in it.
Smart.
And he gets the hottest girl on the planet, Selma Hayek, to do like this dance scene and everything. She's got this massive snake around her. And towards the end of the dance scene, she's walking down the table. It's George Clooney and Quentin Tarantino at the end of the table. We're on camera. Why not? She like pours stretches her leg out, pours a Jack Daniels bottle down her leg. The mouth is going into Tarantino's mouth and he's drinking the Jack Daniels. If that's not a foot fetish,
That
I
is
don't
just
know what is.
That is very cringy. That's what that is. That's like
That's a guy who's just like, he had the power. He's in the position to write whatever he wants and act in a movie. Why wouldn't you do that?
I'm surprised a lot of actresses didn't come out against him and say #MeToo.
He's yeah.
I suppose
You raise
he's
a good point,
He's
but
open enough
he's
about it
still
in
a
his
ba-
movies. You know?
he's still a cool guy. Like,
That's
I love his movies.
hey,
but
whatever.
I don't know much about him, to be honest with you.
All I know is he
Even
killed
in,
Bill
like-
twice.
Twice.
Even Kill Bill.
Spoiler alert.
Even Kill Bill, towards the start of the first one, she gets out of the hospital, whatever. She's in like a back of a car, the pussy wagon, the car she stole.
Sure.
And she's just like looking at her feet. She's like, wiggle your big toe. And she's just sitting there for hours.
That's right.
Because she got out of a coma, so she doesn't know how to like really move. She hasn't moved
Yes.
in like 2 years or something. And just like the extreme camera close up on her feet. And it's like, Tarantino, please.
That was a Hatari Hanzo sword.
Getting back to my story. Quentin Tarantino must have a pretty good ear for music. In some of his earlier
Yes.
movies, there were badass soundtracks. So the two vinyls I got were the soundtrack to both Reservoir Dogs
Mhm.
and Pulp Fiction, his first two major movies.
Yep.
Awesome soundtracks. Just very fitting of like 80s, 90s and stuff in there. Very mixed bag,
Yep.
but like you can just listen to it and like certain bits of the movie jump out to you when you listen to it. It's just, yeah.
It's interesting you say that. I've actually never, well, two cases. I've never listened to movie soundtracks aside from the Marvel Spider-Man 2 that came out with Tobey Maguire back in like 2006 or something. Because Wolf Mother had a new song that came out on that soundtrack. I was like, okay, that sounds awesome. Pretty much. But like an actual movie soundtrack that I sat and listened to was Blade Runner.
Mm.
Yep.
Like sometimes I would just put that on because that's really good. The guy who did that, Vangelis, he's like a classical synth god, I guess, for lack of a better term. And
It's a pretty good term.
Yeah, I had another one in my mind, but Tron.
Tron.
The
Yeah.
the newer Tron one that was done by Daft Punk. Like I had not seen the original Tron film, and then I saw the newer one because Daft Punk were in it. They did the music for it. Great
Yeah.
soundtrack, really well done. Obviously, their blend of their style with classical stuff again.
Wait, there's a Neutron?
Yep.
I only thought there was Jimmy Neutron.
I was gonna say it.
Ah.
Oh man,
Thank you very much.
that was really good.
Thank you.
Well
Thank you.
delivered, though. I'll give you that.
That was
There's a Neutron? Of course there's a Neutron. It was massive.
I gotta say though, I was like, I had some older relatives come to Bendigo for a bit of a family gathering, and
Yep.
it was like one of the kids' birthdays, and the kids wanted to play some music at this birthday party, and they put on the soundtrack from Guardians of the Galaxy.
not bad.
That's what this 10-year-old kid wants to listen to.
There's some classics
And I
on
thought-
there.
Sick on
I
that.
was like,
Yeah.
that's awesome. It's like super 80s, which is awesome.
Same thing with the Stranger Things soundtrack too. There's some bangers on there.
Oh yeah,
And a lot
Spotify
of,
playlists have them.
For sure. How good Spotify. I mean,
I believe I got you that vinyl for a birthday, Big Ted, a couple years back.
you did. I'm still very thankful
That's
for
a
that gift.
damn good birthday present. if I
Hashtag
dare say
thankful.
so. Hashtag grateful.
Hashtag blessed.
What was I gonna say? I recently saw. Have you guys been following the Marvel movies like the Avengers? Or
No.
you don't care?
The last one I saw
No.
was the second Spider-Man. I think the one you mentioned before with Tobey Maguire.
Holy shit!
I'm
Was that
actually probably the
2006?
same.
That was a long time ago.
I don't watch movies.
I've seen
now.
Guardians of the Galaxy. As far as the Netflix stuff goes, I'm totally out of the loop.
Oh, I don't care about that
I
stuff.
don't know how it all connects.
I'm watching
Um,
the mainstream stuff. Like I
Yeah.
just watched Avengers: Infinity War, and I forced myself to watch it not because I don't like it, but because I saw a spoiler online, and I was like, oh, I cannot do this anymore. So I watched the movie, and I said to my wife Amber, I was like, there's something that happens in this movie. I don't know. I can't tell you what it is, but it just is sucking the life out of me because it's happened. And to tie it into music, that particular scene towards the end of the Avengers there, it was just very cinematic, very dramatic because of what happened.
the
thanks
cliffhanger.
to like a nice string quartet.
Just subtle.
know,
Was it
subtle.
the Cantina song? The Jizz Band?
It was the Jizz Band from Star Wars.
Jizz Band.
I want to make a new genre called New Jazz.
New
No,
jizz?
damn, I didn't say it right. New
Oh
jizz.
man, I stopped on my own joke.
Not the first time.
Ooh, I had a good joke just then as well, but I don't remember it. I'm sorry.
I have a joke.
Let's hear
Oh,
it.
it is pretty good.
I'm not gonna say it. I have it written down. I'll show you.
Oh, you're gonna cut this one out, aren't you?
Yeah.
Say it, but like, yeah, don't cut it out either. It's pretty good.
Read the third bottom entry here.
Out loud, please.
I'll say it. I'll
Yeah.
say it.
All right, if you're comfortable.
Is it the hungry one?
Yes.
Hungry? Is it just me, or does hungry sound like the name of a third world country?
It's very good. It's very good.
Oh man, I used to have a notes full of stand-up jokes as well.
There you go.
It was pretty funny.
Probably very similar jokes.
I think that they were just dumb one-liners. That's all they were.
Throughout life, sometimes you just get these funny moments, and it seems a shame not to write them down. Who knows what you're going to do with it? But that's where I'm at. I'm just like, inspiration. It's who knows when I'll use this, even if I just say it on a podcast 2 weeks later.
That's
But
right. That's all it is.
Can tick it off the bucket list once you say it on the podcast.
I was just driving around at work. They were talking about hungry on the radio. I just kind of like laugh to myself and say that, and I'm like,
You have to
Fuck,
be
I
your
should be a
biggest fan with
comedian
that
again.
stuff, though.
yeah.
You do. You gotta like your own stuff. Same with music.
Absolutely.
Now,
Absolutely.
speaking of music,
Ooh.
in our little Facebook chat, we're
Yep.
talking about the topics, and we've talked a little bit about movies and stuff. And I've probably seen 50, maybe 60 movies ever. I just
Not a
don't-
movie guy.
Really?
I prefer to like listen to like a vinyl or just put on an album on Spotify and headphones in. I prefer that.
To be
I-
fair, it's a
interesting.
lot of concentration with a movie.
Absolutely.
I have a short attention span too. I'm a bit the same
What'd you
way.
say?
Exactly. I can hype myself up for a movie, but yeah.
There's only certain TV
It's
shows
rare.
I'll watch too. Like everyone's like, "Oh, what's your one show?" I'm like, probably Raw or SmackDown.
Thank God you didn't say Big
Jimmy
Bang.
Neutron?
Jimmy Neutron. But like one thing I know a lot about, and one thing that I think aids the atmosphere in this particular medium is video game soundtracks.
Oh, for sure.
And you obviously know your fair share about video games, being the head of Retro Game Remix
Yes, I am the CEO of Retro Game Remix on YouTube.
and COO probably.
COO.
Are you the CFO?
I'm the CF off. No. Yeah, I've got a lot of experience doing all that stuff.
Mm.
I have Retro Game Remix Volume 1, 2, 3, 4, and musical tribute to Chrono Triggers. That's 5 total albums. I have like
What a great soundtrack.
over
that was.
80 songs that I have done personally of just covers of retro game songs. So from the Nintendo and above, Super Nintendo, blah, blah,
Mm.
blah. And I was lucky enough to not only do that for a couple of years, I still do it every now and again. I don't have the time. That's all it comes down to. I do it when I have nothing else to do,
Mm.
and I just wanted to try out some new sounds. But I was lucky enough to actually do I've done 2 video game soundtracks so far that I've
Mm.
actually worked on.
Yeah.
One game for the PC is called Horizon Shift. It's like a bullet hell kind of what can I describe it as? Like Galaga, basically a new Galaga. Anybody who out there who says Galaga is just you're wrong.
Like any Australian.
Ah, so it's Gallagher.
Yeah, Galaga, mate.
Galaga.
No.
It's
Sounds
like
like
Galagas
it's-
and spaceships.
Sounds like a small country town in New South Wales.
It probably is.
Yeah, right.
Galaga next to Wagga Wagga.
Right next to right next to whoop.
Whoop whoop.
Yeah.
Right in the middle of whoop whoop.
So I've done that,
Notable town.
which is like a new Galaga, Space Invaders kind of thing. And then I did another one. It's for a Super Nintendo game that's not out yet. It's still being worked on.
Hang on.
Yep.
Super Nintendo game.
A Super Nintendo game.
That's not out yet.
Yep. I'm friends with some guys that work for a company called Collector Vision Games.
Cool.
They're an indie game company out of I think they're based out of Quebec, Canada. Yeah,
Oh,
I'm gonna
right.
say Quebec. I'm gonna pronounce it
Where you from?
Quebec.
where I'm from. Yep. Canada. So anyway, like those guys, I had an opportunity to write music for a Super Nintendo game called Justice Beaver.
Oh, that's right.
That is- All right.
That's
I already get the premise. That's perfect.
it's a beaver with a handgun. It's just a platformer game.
nice beaver.
The guy came to me. He's like, I want to write some music that sounds similar enough to Rage Against the Machine. So I wrote down some riffs,
nice.
recorded them, They don't sound good at all because my recording quality was not great. So if he puts out the original soundtrack with those recordings, I'm not sharing it because it sounds like shit. But it was cool to have my music transposed into a MIDI program and then dumped into Super Nintendo games. So
these guys are basically making ROMs for like the new version of Super Nintendo.
They're making.
How are they doing?
They're
this?
making cartridge games.
Wow.
Is it like a licensed product with a Nintendo, or how does
Well,
that
no,
work?
it's not like a licensed Nintendo game. So they're homebrew in the crudest sense as that's the only way I can describe it, like homebrew or indie.
Oh,
but
right,
but it's not a homebrew or indie game by any means. It's an actual game company that's making a game
Cool.
for Super Nintendo. So they're printing physical cartridges.
Will they do digital download too on the store?
Yep, for sure.
When, like,
It'll
That
premium
actually
comes
sounds
out?
awesome.
Yeah, it's really cool. Like if you Google or YouTube Justice Beaver now, you'll see clips of the game with the songs in it.
And Justin Bieber with a handgun.
Pretty much. Justin Bieber with a
and
handgun.
awards for the best video game name of 2018.
Pretty much. This game's been. I did the soundtrack for that like 3 years ago, and it's still not out yet. So
Working hard on it.
yeah, it's a lot of work.
Can I tell you the first 3 guitar riffs I ever learned?
Yes.
All video games.
Really?
All video games.
Doom?
Impressive.
Doom
Yes.
is one of them.
Super Mario.
The Tetris theme song. Because I
Oh.
wanted to work a bit of, the upper neck.
Your Dorian
And-
Lydian modes, right,
Yes.
Jackson?
Oh,
Yeah.
even a bit of Mixolydian
Wow.
on the way down. And the third, the third is actually my favorite. Age of Empires 2.
Ah, perfect. What a game.
How specific?
I could play it right now.
I'm sure you could.
Yeah.
I still could.
Like, pick it up, and all you're going to hear is, "Walala,
I could play it. I'm actually
Go ahead.
walala."
This is another money for nothing shot. Can I just say that vibrato you did about 10 seconds ago was spot on.
He's good.
Just pure finger muscle, no hand on the back of the neck. It was just. I was seeing flashbacks of BB King there for a second.
For sure.
Look at that! Yeah, that's it! You can even do the key change as well.
Jeez, that amp sounds good too.
Yeah, it's a new Air amp.
Oh yeah, yeah. Expensive?
Made by Nike. The Nike Air amp.
Oh,
There you go.
nice.
Age of Empires 2 played acoustically on a Gibson Les Paul.
Wow, that's the best it's ever sounded. Swear to God.
That's good, man. That was pretty much spot on.
Yeah, that's great.
The reason I remember that, it's probably the first riff I ever learned. I just sat down until I got it right.
And how often did you play that game too? So it'd be ingrained in you too.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
What a game.
Born and raised on it.
Mm.
That's
And that kind of shows you how memorable games
Things just stick with you
and soundtrack.
sometimes.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I wrote down a list of the games and like music incorporations into games. Actually.
Video games are just so nostalgic because you spend so many hours and hours and hours on end
Yeah.
playing these games, and the music is in the background.
Absolutely.
24/7.
You're taking on a story. Absolutely. Like one of the ones that I wrote first that immediately came to mind was the Halo soundtrack, particularly like the theme song.
With Steve
Epic.
Vai,
yeah,
Epic.
Halo
absolutely.
2.
But
Yes.
do you remember like driving
The Warthog.
the Warthog on the final mission
Oh,
and how
man.
epic that music was?
I think I
Yes.
pooped my pants.
Yeah. I think I did too, but I didn't care. Like, it's just it's perfect. And it gives you fucking goosebumps every time.
Oh, yeah.
So
For sure.
but I also like in some video games you get a bit of background music as you're playing the game. They're not part of split scenes or anything like that. So like two that come to mind for me are obviously Diamond City Radio from Fallout series and stuff like
Yep.
that. That was pretty cool, walking around and in the wasteland shooting stuff and you get some, Nat King Cole or stuff like that
Time
to keep you company.
specific.
Yeah, exactly right. And the other one I really liked, which sticks with me, is I think it was GTA 4, but it might have been all the way up to GTA 4. Was Liberty City Hardcore, which was done by like Max Cavalera and stuff like that.
Really?
So it's just a bunch of like
right.
New York hardcore and punk bands as you're like driving around, jumping your
pretty cool.
Lamborghini over bridges and stuff. So
The GTA games are in a special spot with like music and
Definitely.
because of the radio content in the games.
they put just as much effort into that as they do the game sometimes.
There's upwards of 20 radio stations in each game,
Mm.
so it seems.
And they're all different.
And they're all different. And most of the time they're hilarious.
Yeah.
Because like the ads they do, it's like,
Yeah.
you want new boner pills? Get the new boner pill 4000.
Get your
It's
dick
got
pills.
real bull testosterone from its balls.
yeah.
Shit like that, you know.
It's really funny. Like I remember when I first played Vice City, Grand Theft Auto Vice City. That's a classic game.
Good game.
For those who don't know, it's set in the 80s.
Ah.
In Vice City, which is a takeoff of like Miami Vice. So everything's all neon and 80s.
Every car's
Your
a
main
Ferrari.
character, what's his name? Vince?
I can't remember.
Colossimo.
I remember the
that-
guy.
no idea.
The guy's he's got like the green shirt.
He's
in
got like the
game.
floral shirt on.
Yeah.
Like it's
White and purple.
really good game. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's very Scarfacey.
The the
definitely.
soundtrack is obviously very 80s. You had your hair metal, which is good, and then your 80s pop. So like when a lot of new 80s songs are in circulation now, thanks to like Stranger Things, that's a callback to like all the 80s
That's right.
radio that I heard on Vice City, which is some really good curated songs. And then the banter between like the fake co-hosts or personalities on the radio.
It's classic.
Funnier than hell. Like it's good.
But going back to like having the option of changing your radio, like in games, kind of allows you to set the atmosphere
For
yourself.
sure.
I wish real radio was that good.
Oh, absolutely.
honestly.
Oh, it sucks.
It's horrible.
We have
now.
3 stations.
Why do you
like,
think we do a
really in
podcast
Bendigo.
and not a radio station?
I've been listening to a talk radio because it's like the only talk radio station here that I can somewhat tolerate.
ABC?
98.3 Gold FM.
Oh, yeah. I
he's-
think that's like a local
The
thing.
Golden Oldies.
Yeah, he's just talking about whatever. I don't know. He was talking about how some douchebag put needles in a strawberry.
Ah,
recently.
yes.
So there's not only that, but like we were cycling through the radio stations because we went somewhere like last week or whatever, and it was just pure garbage. Like on the
Oh.
radio, it's like
It's rubbish.
shitty pop songs, and then you hit the seek button and it scans for like 30 minutes, and all you hear is this. Then like slightly slightly muffled classical music, and then like preaching.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's all it is. So yeah,
How farther thou art in testify.
Isn't it weird how the classical music is just so like low fidelity and terrible quality?
Yeah.
It's like I don't know, someone in the back of the room during a live orchestra just has like he's recording on his phone.
He's recording on a Zoom H4,
Yeah.
and like in the back.
Not even the Zoom H5. don't talk crap on the Z4 because I want one.
It's a shout out to Reading, Pennsylvania, that area.
Yeah, shout out to them.
Shout out to them
What-
because they've got the
For- What bands are from Reading again? Reading, where have I heard that?
Taylor Swift.
Thank you. No.
That's about it, man.
Reading, I don't know. I've heard it. somewhere.
There's a really good jazz station, real amazing jazz. It's like 91.9 or something in the
Star FM.
over there. It's like literally just the best jazz I've ever heard in my life. Like
Was that the one you did the
Nice.
voice acting ad for?
No.
No? Was
no.
that just a made up
That's
one?
just a fake one that I found online.
Oh, no.
Smooth jazz.
93.8.
93.8, the smoothest jazz you'll ever hear
In your life.
in your life.
I.
It's very good.
Yeah.
It's very good.
Yes.
It's
You should do
pleasing
that
to
for
the
a living.
Yeah.
pleasing to the ears.
Very.
But getting back to the atmosphere and
Please.
stuff in gaming and all that kind of stuff, I like how games like Tony Hawk or like Need for Speed,
Ah,
their soundtracks,
best
now.
soundtracks.
Yeah.
But like they introduced a lot of like I remember playing Tony Hawk when I was like 7 or 8, and like getting introduced to like all of the like Rage Against the Machines,
Punk, anything from like ska, rap, rock, metal.
Absolutely.
It was all there.
and a lot of people our age, especially males, still listen to that kind of stuff. So
Did you just assume my gender?
I did,
Wow.
Very,
and you're gonna take it.
very formative video game
Oh,
for
absolutely.
like this generation, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just to talk about Age of Empires again.
Yes, please do.
You can bring it up as much as you want.
The Age of
man.
Empires has
she
a
said.
fantastic theme song, without a doubt.
Like,
However, but every single like map you play, depending on who your enemy is or what civilization you are,
yeah,
there was basically a theme song for every
Yeah.
country in the game.
absolutely.
So if
cool?
you're
Yeah.
playing in like Imperial China, it's like a very Oriental themed music, and it
Yes.
just adds to the experience. Yeah,
And
if
if
you
you're-
play like the Vikings,
Yep.
it's just chaotic and
Well, if you're Australian, isn't it like a dingo playing a didgeridoo back in the?
that old Barnsey, like TNT riff.
That's what it
Have
sounds
you
like.
seen that latest Barnsey film clip?
No,
Oh, dude.
he does. Video.
Dude,
don't think
I
I've
have
ever-
to show you boys after this. You're going to lose your minds.
All right.
All right. Please remind me. You'll
Yes.
laugh hard. Yeah, Barnsey, though. That'd be a great.
Barnsey. So he's just like walking around a shed,
No, it's nothing.
getting on
He-
his
he-
use.
it's not even that new. It's been
What's he
around for
doing?
probably 6 months. It's this like techno dude. I can't even remember his name.
Oh,
But like the chorus is him going, just screaming his Barnsey shit over the top. And like it's not fun to listen to.
but
Who is he? For those who don't know,
His name is James Barnes.
Jimmy Barnes. I believe he's from Elizabeth and
James Barnes,
James Barnes.
think I-
0069.
I believe he's from the province of Elizabeth in Adelaide, South Australia.
I thought he was Scottish.
Ah, he's Aussie, man.
Oh yeah,
He might have actually came down from Scotland,
probably like everybody.
That would explain
else.
that crazy voice he has.
like the Akadaka guys. Same sort of
Pretty
thing.
much. He's like the Australian
yeah.
Bruce Springsteen,
Pretty much.
Exactly.
Pretty
and he
much.
never
I
made
think,
it out of here.
I think he's doing the grand final. I'm pretty sure.
I hope he plays this song that I'm referring to you guys about. Like, it's crazy. It may sound like
Jimmy
I'm making fun of
Barnes.
him, but that's exactly what it sounds like.
seriously
Exactly.
sounds
Jimmy
like-
Barnes and the Black Eyed Peas are opening the
And the Black Eyed Peas.
and the Black Eyed Peas without Fergie.
And it's Barnsey instead.
Where is the love? The love. My homes.
My lovely Barnsey Holmes. Check it out.
This is too real right now, honestly.
That's a pretty good Barnsey.
Yeah. It's honestly sounded pretty much spot on like him.
Thank you. Thank
So
you.
anyway, getting back
So
to Age
that's
of
who
Empires.
Barnsey is. Yeah. Look, Age of Empires, very encapsulating music
it
for
is.
the game.
Yep.
Depending on what race, civilization
Now-
you are.
I reckon there's one game out there that's going to trump everyone's picks.
It's gonna be huge,
It is huge, mate. Huge.
I'm ready.
bigly.
Almost. The Sims.
Ah.
Ooh.
All right.
The
All right.
How much did that music affect how you played that game?
Mm.
Well, not necessarily how, but like
You're talking like the
it'd be
building
boring without
music.
it. It'd be boring without it.
When you're making your house and that, it's got like this.
The most beautiful, soothing, awesome piano ever.
Mm.
And yeah, you're just kind of building
No,
a house.
I can. Yeah, exactly.
It's got to make it fun somehow, or at least
Every
tolerable.
interior designer is just in heaven playing that
How
game.
can we
with that
how can we make
music.
Uh,
this fun? Why don't we get a pianist?
A live pianist.
Why don't we get a pianist? That'll make it great.
How fast can you say
Pianist.
pianist?
Huh?
How fast can you say pianist?
Pianist.
Say it 4 times fast?
No, don't be a dick, Jackson.
Don't be a pianist.
Hey, come on, don't be a pianist about this.
Pianist. My new band name,
What's your new band name?
Pianist.
Oh, goodness.
Woo-hoo.
What? That's actually probably the funniest moment on the podcast.
Probably. I'll
I gotta steal that joke.
this is a good time.
How fast can you say pianist? Pianist.
This is a good time for Jackson to announce his new band.
Pianist.
Pianist.
On the first episode, he was talking about being a blues guy hanging out with too many jazz numbers. So he started his
I
own.
probably have some band names in this list somewhere.
So you started your own band. The newest single is coming out. The band name, look for him on Spotify.
Penis Envy.
Foreskin and the Tromboners.
Littered foreskin. Mm.
Yeah. The album's called Pianist Envy.
Penis Envy.
That's perfect. Oh, what a moment.
No, I don't have any.
Here's-
names for you.
Here's one you're probably gonna want to cut out. But why don't we start a stoner doom metal band? Call it Thunder Cunt.
I would believe that's actually a stoner band.
Probably.
Because there's a band called Goblin Cock. I am 100% serious.
And they're amazing, dude.
It's more or less like every other stoner metal
What's their
band.
album called? Pianist.
Penis.
Probably.
Oh,
Something
shit.
cock related, no doubt. But yeah, Goblin Cock. Check them out.
Wow. There you go. Look,
I'm trying to see if I have any.
They just wear
yeah.
like black cloaks and they're just like headbanging in unison on a mountainside.
are they playing with like the Stonehenge from Spinal Tap?
Yes, with
What?
BC Rich guitars.
The BC Rich Warlock.
Yes.
I'm looking through to see if I have any funny
Safety
band names.
images turned off, please, Tyler. For
Hang on, I'll
Goblin
just put
Cock.
in- Yeah. Safe search off. My band name is Hard from a Handshake.
What?
It's a teen angst band.
You okay?
Why do you always say the best jokes when I'm drinking?
I save
Drinking
them for when you're
coffee.
drinking.
What's your you were telling me
That's pretty funny, though.
Thank you very much.
maybe this time last year about a band you wanted to put together, like, and the album art you had ready, like tell us about that.
So one of the guy that was going to be on the podcast tonight, Daniel Woodman. He's a good musician. He's a guitar collector. We'll get him on another date.
You need to duck back to Melbourne.
Yeah,
That's
mate.
right.
Yeah.
He's got other commitments, but that's completely fine. He's a guitar collector, but he's also a very talented like artist. And I said to him, I want you to like draw some single covers or album covers or whatever for me. And I want it to be the sexiest stuff that you can think of that's still cartoony. Because the name of my project or persona was going to be Rod Thick.
Rod Thick.
Rod Thick. And
Just-
he looked like picture like a Ron Jeremy type of character, but he got into a completely different industry than what he's actually known for, being music. So
Being gay pornography.
Well, if you're gonna go straight to it.
Rod Thick. And yeah, his full name is Rodney Thickner.
Rod Thick. It's, yeah.
You know, can I interrupt you there? Like, I had the stupidest thought today.
Please.
You know how like somebody who's named Dan is Daniel? Why isn't Stan Daniel?
Daniel Woodman, get to your room. I'm looking for a Staniel Stammers. Is a Staniel Stammers here tonight?
Honestly, like
Daniel, sit down!
that was so funny. I didn't laugh. I went straight to crying. What?
I can swallow my water now.
Oh, that's what she said.
That is a good point you raise, though.
Staniel. Wow. What about
you-
Staniel?
That's what you should. That's what you should call your kid when you have a kid one day. Staniel. Staniel lad.
Great. I've been looking for that my whole life.
Staniel.
Or instead of Stanley, it's Danley.
Oh my god.
Dan Lee. He sounds like a Taekwondo expert.
Danley Staniel.
Who's the guy from Napoleon Dynamite? What's his name?
Pedro.
No, the instructor.
Oh.
Napoleon Dynamite.
Rex.
Rex
Rex Kwando.
Who's the guy from Napoleon Dynamite? Oh, Napoleon Dynamite.
That's the only guy I know from the movie.
You better get your ass in the gym and give me 20 push-ups. You wouldn't go home to a girl who looked like Stoller every night.
Oh fuck.
Wow. This podcast has completely changed.
That-
into something hilarious.
That whole section hit me like Uncle Rico's steak.
hard.
Oh man.
Good gravy.
Anyway, so we're talking about Rod Rod Thick.
Rod Thick. The
Rodney
Rod
Thick,
Thick experience.
Yep.
I'm still writing for that.
In
but-
your face, sexy music, right?
yes, but it's going to be rapped.
Rapped.
Not by me, but by some people I know.
Are we having some audio issues? I
No.
think we're good. I think we're good.
Yeah, I think we're good.
Might have just been me. I was
Yeah,
playing
probably
with the
have to-
thing. That might be why.
So she's
Stop playing with your feud, Jackson. Yes, music
yes.
and music related things. This was a
man.
podcast about that.
Oh, it doesn't matter. We've lost the plot today.
Oh, we have, but it's been good fun.
I'm just warming up, boys.
Yeah, mate.
I have one last soundtrack to kind of tie in that.
Yeah, let's hear it.
It's a video game that's pretty much surrounded by music, and it's about music.
Guitar Hero.
I was going to say Guitar Hero. Close. Brutal Legend,
Oh, yes.
Ah.
where like the whole, I guess, game is about
Tenacious
the soundtrack
D.
in a way. Yeah. It's Jack Black, over 9,000 lines of dialogue and stuff like that. It's a very good game.
It's
and-
very epic metal, right?
Yeah, but it's like it's a game like obviously surrounding music, but having like famous figures from the music world in the game as well.
Like Lemmy and stuff.
I just heard Staniel in my head
Oh,
again.
come on. We've been over this.
Yes. So Lemmy's in the game, which is really cool.
Lemmy.
That was just a guess, by the way.
Lemmy's
Ozzy Osbourne?
Ozzy Osbourne is like the Satan
The
pretty
god.
much.
All right, of course.
And
the
yeah,
Prince
there's a
of
bunch others.
Darkness.
Yeah. And Staniel's in there as well.
The guy from Judas Priest. Because why not?
Yeah. Jack Black's in it too.
Yep.
Oh, cool. Is he a playable character?
Yeah, actually. You
He's
can't
the-
play as Kyle Gass though.
He's the main voice, isn't he? He voices the main guy.
Definitely, yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Oh, that's just Jimmy Barnes again.
So there's a lot of good soundtracks out there. Like one of my personal favorites is from the Super Nintendo era, Chrono Trigger.
I was listening to that a
Alright.
bit today, actually.
Very good. Chrono Trigger is very good. So good, in fact, that I did an album. It was a 10-song album, like all written and rearranged stuff performed live by me. It's fun because, yeah, video game soundtracks have a very soft spot in my heart. All the Super Nintendo stuff is great. Final Fantasy stuff is great.
Yes.
Final Fantasy 7 and
The battle music?
Yeah, always classic.
What about like the Pokemon games? How they had the battle music, and, like the encounter music, or like legendary Pokemon music?
Yeah, the original series, Pokemon Red, Blue, Green, and Yellow. Green if you were in Japan. Great timeless music. Honestly, some really good stuff.
For sure.
Have you heard of the whole conspiracy theory around the Lavender Town music?
I have, yes.
I have not.
Pretty dark stuff.
You gotta look. You gotta dig deep into that because supposedly that, like, if you listen to it, it can make you like go crazy or something.
Yeah. And when you look back, I mean, I don't want to get all Mandela effect about this, but it's pretty creepy music.
Oh, it's very.
There's some really weird like subtones and high tones, octaves, and it plays a bit of an illusion musically and like messes with your mind and stuff. And it adds to the effect of a town in the Pokemon games that is essentially a cemetery.
Yes.
Like,
Yeah. Well, it's all spirits and
Pokemon
ghosts there,
graveyard.
isn't it?
Pet
Yeah.
Cemetery.
Pet cemetery.
No, it's the it's where you encounter like all like
The Pokeflutes.
Ghastlies and all that stuff, and
Yeah.
Ah, I see.
it's I think it links in with like the anime or something because there's Cubone.
Bound.
That's like dead on Cubone voice, by the way.
Thank you.
He wears the skull of his mother.
Again, dark.
Brutal.
Dark subject matter is all in this one area of the map.
Yep.
And the music that fits with it, equally
Oh, yeah.
dark.
I didn't even think about the Pokemon games, but it's iconic music.
Very.
For sure.
You can identify it. Like even these days, if you haven't played the games in years.
Oh yeah,
Mm.
for sure.
Mm.
What about some? Do we get into? We don't really get into television soundtracks, but the most recent television show that's taken the world by storm is Stranger Things. I know we mentioned that earlier.
For sure.
That kind of sound, the arpeggiated
Yes.
thing,
The 12-note sequence, I believe we came to the conclusion it was.
because we can reference "Suck It, Stephen Hammer." We talked about that on, I think it was episode 1.
Yeah, it was early. It was an early one.
Where we said that particular genre of music has actually become really popular because people started watching that show.
Yeah.
And it's like I don't know, I can't think off the top of my head the genre that it is, but like it's big Spotify playlist for it. Everybody loves that synth-driven stuff.
It's like vaporwave or something.
Yeah, I think that's it.
Mm.
Yeah, it's really cool stuff, and it's interesting how stuff like that can inspire a new wave of listeners for that particular genre,
For sure.
genre of music, which is really good. Yeah. So
No other TV show really takes the cake as much as Stranger Things in recent
no,
years.
yeah,
There's
look,
not as much focus on it. However, one show I would argue would be Sons of Anarchy. Great soundtrack. in that.
Cool. All right. Some like desert rocky sort of.
I never
Desert
watched it.
Rocky. You'd love it, man. It's a solid show until the end.
Mm.
Yeah, there's some good stuff in it for sure. But they choose the right music in the right moments too. So that's an important skill to have if
Yeah.
you're in that industry.
Absolutely. Like a specific scene can have a certain thing. Like for example, like when Darth Vader comes in at any point in Star Wars, you hear his music, and
His theme.
shit is gonna get real. Yeah, pretty much. Like even when have you guys seen Rogue One, Star Wars Rogue One?
I think I saw that one.
They brought back Darth Vader.
Spoiler alert!
Well, they brought him back.
I get to say that for most movies.
They
so.
they brought him back for like a total of 2 minutes in the movie. It was sick AF. And they brought him back, and like the music was so dark, and like there's the final scene of the movie, like he's just murdering people, and it's just like this cinematic, suspenseful stuff. And it's all fitted by the music that's
How about like just in general, going a bit back to video games? It could be in movies and TV shows also, but like the bad guys theme.
yeah.
You could talk about Final Fantasy there, or hell, even like Mario 64
With
and
Bowser.
with Bowser.
Yeah.
He had some sick songs.
That's like adrenaline fueled music.
Sets the tone, doesn't it?
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Ooh, Metroid. Have you guys played Metroid?
old school. I had it on Game Boy. Man.
Metroid is one of those games that the original game, all you do is, for those of you who don't know, you play as Samus, this bounty hunter, and it's like a big map. You have a big expansive world in the game. You have no map. You're literally you just go. You'd get dropped and you go. And the first thing you do is you have to figure out your way through the map by getting different powers and stuff. And the further you progress, the more powerful you become. But it's a very isolated game. And the fact that the music is chosen very wisely, and it's just very like spacey and isolated. There's more no music than there is music. That's how they use music very wisely in that game.
That blank space.
Absolutely, and like in other things like horror films, like for example, like Halloween. Like everybody knows all that stuff. Like it's scary than hell when you think, there's this bad guy coming in the movie. Then you hear this, or like the Jaws theme.
Yeah. Going back to your like blank space, I think there was a movie. I can't exactly remember. I think it was just called Moon or Space or something like that. I think it had George Clooney and some chick. It's very broad. It sounds like any movie.
Oh yeah, I know the
But
one.
a large part of it was these cans are messing up too much. But a large part of it was just the blank space, the nothingness in the movie, and it just added to the suspense the whole time. I've got to fix this up a bit.
It's interesting how the use of music can affect something specific.
Yeah,
Like
absolutely.
when we throw the funniest part of this podcast up as a gag reel, we could throw some dark music over it, and it's not funny anymore.
Yeah, it looks like people are just crying.
Pretty much. That's exactly it.
That's how much it can affect it for sure. Yeah.
100%.
Any other like TV shows or
Shows and music. I can think of movies. Like you can talk about Back to the Future and like how,
Huey Lewis in the news.
Huey Lewis in the news.
Oh yeah, my boy.
You can when I think of movies and music, that's kind of what jumps out at me. Just those classic songs. How you don't know what the artist's name is sometimes.
Ghostbusters. Ray Parker Jr.
Yeah.
Nobody knows who the hell he is.
I know who Ghostbusters is though.
Melissa McCarthy.
It's that green monster thing. Flubber.
It's the Goblin Cock.
That's his name. Staniel.
Nearly caught you.
What was I going to talk about? Oh yeah, one other kind of form or different type of media that is very near and dear to my heart is kind of wrestling. Right? Like
right.
So having like an entrance theme music for each superstar will really set the tone for
The Undertaker.
Exactly. Like if Undertaker just walked out in the dark, like with some fog to the ring, people wouldn't cheer. It's that gong.
People cheer.
Yeah, they'll like go along
Right
with it.
away.
And like that's my dream job, I reckon. Writing for like the WWE, writing their theme songs. I'll steal it from them one day.
We could do it.
It'd be fucking cool.
We've
man.
talked about that.
Oh yeah, I'm still
a couple
down.
years ago.
Absolutely. But it really sets the tone. Really
sets the tone. In UFC, like they do a similar thing. Obviously, pumps up the fighter. The crowd gets into it. The crowd knows certain fighters' walkout songs. They get into it.
Yeah.
Uriah Faber,
with California.
TJ Dillashaw.
Yeah,
Basically any fighter from Sacramento, let's be honest.
yeah.
Good old Cali boys. Am I right?
Yeah.
Or am I right?
Or like even CM Punk coming out to Cult of Personality, which was his entrance theme in the WWE.
Mm.
He's probably got some kind of
Yeah,
right
people are
deal
known
that.
with having a walkout song.
Yeah. And
I wish
that's how powerful music could be.
everybody had a walkout song. If you had a walkout song, Eric,
Wow.
besides Huey Lewis and the News,
That is a great question. actually.
Yeah.
Eric comes in with a skateboard.
Yeah, dude. Hey, Doc.
Yo, what's up?
Is that
What would my walkout song be if I was a wrestler? I guess obviously I would have to go with the cliche, like I'm American. I don't know what signifies like American rock. I don't know, like
Born in the USA.
Born in the USA. No.
It works.
Yeah,
It
sure.
works.
Whatever.
It works. Born in the USA. I've got From the Land Down Under by. No, I can't even.
You have to though.
Can I play for you mine over the speaker?
Yeah.
Honestly, it's perfect.
You already know it.
Yeah, dude, I've thought about this.
I have had many conclusions of my walkout song, but now my mind is blank.
Can you hold this up to the mic? I'll do the walk.
Podcast. I think we just made history on a podcast.
We saw Tyler's whole face.
That's going to look great in 1080p,
Wow.
60 frames per second.
1080p? Don't you mean 1080p?
1080p.
Oh! But yeah, that'd be my walkout song. Those who don't know, that is by the famous diva Kylie Minogue. And it's Put Yourself in My Place, one of her lesser known hits.
Honestly, you just spoke about that so seriously that like
I've thought about this. Like, this is a daily thought for me. Yeah.
It's I can just imagine you driving down the Colorado Highway with a little bit of reverb. What would my walkout song be?
I'd have to have something that'd pump me up a bit, not, make me want to... Yeah, probably. I don't know. Yeah. Just anything new metal-ish, I guess.
I suppose, like, if you
Actually, no, I changed my mind. I'd go something totally like reggae.
yeah,
Just to, like, throw everyone off.
yeah, people
Ini-
have no idea what type of
Ini
character.
Kamosi, Here Comes the Hot Stepper.
Oh,
That would be my walkout song.
that's nice.
That's the one I was
I'm trying to think of
of.
yours.
I don't know, honestly. I don't know.
If any of our viewers have a suggestion for Eric's walkout song, feel free to leave a comment
Honestly,
on YouTube.
probably Huey Lewis and the News.
Yeah, but you're not allowed to
I
use
think
that.
you'd rock it.
I
think you'd
would,
rock
yeah. I would. Not the power of love.
Mm.
Maybe
There's another song.
yeah, there's another one.
It's
Maybe-
that or the Allman Brothers.
Yeah, hey, come on.
I saw your story, man. I liked
Classic.
it, by the way.
Yeah.
Speaking of Instagram stories,
Yes.
we have
Rifftober.
Rifftober.
We're doing it.
Yep.
100%. Every
Amazing.
day.
Yep.
I'm happy just for story. It can be a video if you want, but just a riff a day. Yeah, Rifftober.
I think I'm gonna
Hashtag
alternate.
Rifftober.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna alternate.
Any
The
of-
stories are
Any
good.
of your good riffs, post a video.
Yeah,
Oh, you got to
exactly.
post a video and hashtag it.
If
Yeah,
it's a
for
bit of a
sure.
lazy day, you got out of bed late, whatever. You got to get in early. I don't know.
Get him to what?
I don't know. I'm saying say
Your
you
stocks and barns.
say you don't have much room to make up a good riff.
Yeah,
Just
yeah.
chuck it on your story.
Yeah, perfect.
What
Yeah,
else?
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm definitely down for it. I've
I'm
got a
on
list
board.
of about probably 20 that I'm going to do already. So
Yeah, I agree. I'd like to do that. We've said this before on the last one.
We said we were going to do September, but it
It was like
We-
mid-September already by that point.
it was
Yeah.
3 days away. Their last podcast was like, oh yeah, it'll be Monday or something like that. It'll be Saturday or Sunday, and we'll do it. It's like that's not enough time to prepare.
No.
And I don't even think the podcast was out by then. It was
Exactly.
a bit of a
Yeah.
mishap. Let's do October. Anybody wants to join along?
Hashtag
Feel free to.
Rifftober
Rifftober.
and tag the Live Room podcast and each of us individually
Yeah.
if you want to, whatever you want to do. But
It can be electric, it can be acoustic, it can be bass, it can be whatever you goddamn like.
absolutely. So
Yeah.
we might just do some
Pan
desk
flute.
drumming. Pan flute on
Desk-
45.
Desk drumming.
Something like that. would be cool.
Yeah,
Why not?
something like
I do that on my laptop sometimes. Just like,
Yeah. You know what I like to do?
Videos are
I like when I'm waiting at a light, stoplight, I
Mhm.
have the turn signal on. I use that as a metronome.
Yeah, how fun is that?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's like a halftime
Yeah.
thing. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. And it'd be different on depending on which car.
Yeah, man.
Mine's pretty slow. Just sounds like
Mine's
a
like a grindcore band. Just a blast beat.
Is that really what it is?
No. I don't know. It's pretty standard. It's an Impreza.
Yeah. Well, whatever. So I think that's a good idea. Good little initiative. Rifftober.
Absolutely.
I
And
need
they
to-
can- I reckon they can be covers and stuff too.
Yeah, for
But
sure.
Get your own stuff out there too if you want to. If you've got
More
some
content.
ideas. Yeah, exactly.
More content. Speaking of content, the last podcast was pretty good. It
Yeah,
was
Sean was
the
a good guest.
Sean Orr,
podcasts
yeah.
are now being edited by Jackson, Mr. Jones himself.
Sure is.
100%. Let's do it. It's
So
fun.
it was fun. Yeah, it was good to actually have a live jam. I think it turned out pretty good.
Yeah, sounded good.
For just throwing
I actually
together.
listened to it today because I hadn't heard it as part of the podcast.
Oh, really?
But
Yeah.
you've only shown me the snippets. But
Yep.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's very cool
Yeah, it turned out really good. So it was fun having Sean on.
for sure.
Hopefully, try and have a guest on next time, whether it be
Good
your
old
friend
Daniel.
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 We got a
Daniel.
couple people in the bank, so we just got to hit a few people up.
I think if I book it, I might be able to get our other engineer from Lad Studios,
Hey.
Yeah, that's a good
Mr.
idea.
Nice.
Jared Meadows. We can talk about production and engineering and all that stuff. Some
Great.
different topics.
You can all of you three can like try and explain to me what everything is in layman's terms.
Sure, pretty much.
This is a mouse and this is a keyboard.
Oh, how do they work?
This is a mouse. When there's two mice, you call them mouses.
Mousses.
Mouse.
You can just buy a MacBook and then you're a DJ also.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I
Did
didn't
you
know
know
that.
That's a bit of a fun fact.
If you buy an iPod,
Like just like that. Like you get a certificate.
yeah.
this is a life
You just
hack
call
here.
yourself Skrillex and yeah.
Wow.
Pretty much. So if you buy an iPod Classic, it has to be a 16 gigabyte variant, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And if you go to a DJ club, you plug in your auxiliary cable, you can call yourself Skrillex.
Are you kidding me? That easy.
Yep.
Shit.
Skrillex.
Shout out to Skrillex. I actually like him, man.
Shout out to Sonny Moore.
I'm all about him.
He was huge back in the day.
I think he's in Australia at the moment,
Is
by
he?
the way.
Is he still like
He might be listening. There's a festival called Listen Out Festival, and I think
So he might be
he's
listening
playing.
out.
I think he's playing.
does he still have half of his head shaven?
Probably.
I
I don't know who this man is.
I just did not like that look at all. Like that was as I was graduating from high school, my senior year, that was like the look that people had. Like you would look at somebody, I'm like, why are they like half bald? Intentional.
It's essentially your haircut if you just kept the sides on a number 2 and
Pretty
you
much.
just didn't touch your hair for like 2.5 years.
and you dyed it.
Mm.
And you like to go to Hot Topic all the time.
And you paint your fingernails black.
Yeah, I really just don't like the world.
Yeah, the world.
But I
isn't for
have
me.
such an amazing voice, so I guess I have to take part in it and host a podcast.
I got these really great parachute pants at Hot Topic for $2.50.
That's a good
Can
buy.
you give me a reference to what Hot Topic is?
JJ's?
JJ's?
JJ's.
No,
no.
way. Hot Topic. You go into Hot Topic, it's all like red and black.
Metal Mosh.
Red and all right.
You might be on some. I've
Metal Mosh.
never been there. So you go into the mall, right? Like I would
Yep,
usually go.
yep.
Like I'm gonna go to GameStop. I'm gonna pick up the new whatever 2000 game.
Wario Land 4.
Wario Land 4. That is a great game for Game Boy Advance. I swear, honestly, it was one of my favorite games to play as a kid.
Favorite Game Boy Advance game? Go.
Golden Sun.
No way, really?
Yes.
The RPG?
Yes.
That has a place in my heart, that game.
Speaking of Golden Sun,
100%.
I've done a cover of a Golden Sun.
You're
song.
the only person I've ever met that knows what that game is.
Seriously?
100%.
I've never heard of it.
Do you like Felix or Isaac better?
Ooh. I don't know. I like that Ivan guy. He was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Ivan Milat.
Isaac was the main character
Isaac was the main character.
who
Then you had
never spoke until the last
then you had Garrett,
second of the game.
Spoiler
Garrett.
alert.
Ivan, and then like Sheba,
Yeah, she was pretty hard.
and then the next.
Did you catch all the Dejans?
Yes, I did.
Yeah.
Yep, all the Earths.
Oh, dude, I've never met anybody who knows what
Yep.
Golden Sun is.
I've never heard of it. It sounds sick though.
It's a really good. It's like the
Final Fantasy-ish.
Final Fantasy issue. It's
With-
just a role playing game. And instead of magic, you have Dijin or Jin or whatever, like they're little creatures that you can collect.
Kind of like Digimon. I
Pretty
guess.
much, like each character had their own element. So Isaac was the earth guy, Garrett was the fire guy, and you could get different Jin at different times. That you could use, blah blah blah. So it was a really good game. So yeah, Golden Sun for sure.
Oh, dude, I'm very impressed you said that. By the way,
I know.
What a moment.
So
Mine,
yes,
Game Boy Advance.
The Sims busting out. Fucking loved it. It was good.
You had your headphones in.
You know what's? I
busting
got it for free, that game, because I won a competition in EB Games magazine when I was younger.
Nice.
They just sent it to me in the mail. I'm like, thanks.
did they put you in the magazine?
They did, actually. I was like, you've won this.
Tyler Vanderschnoebel, age 9.
Schnooble. Tyler Vanderstanley.
I'm gonna answer your question with Felix because I remember who he is now.
Yes, the brown hair guy.
Yeah.
He was the main character in Golden Sun 2.
Good
That's
old Brand,
right.
Yeah.
Could travel around.
But to be honest with you, I haven't played the last one for DS. I haven't gotten there.
Is that Golden
Oh,
Sun
there was
3?
There was a third.
Yes, it was for DS.
First I've heard of it.
Yep. You play as Isaac's descendants,
Isaac Jr.'s.
Isaac Jr.'s. Anyway, so back to Hot Topic.
Yeah.
Hot Topic, what hot pocket is. You walk into this store, like it has like a gothic font, Hot Topic, and on the left side of the wall is all just like Bring Me the Horizon, Alexis on Fire shirts. Remember those shirts that everybody used to wear, like the
I still do.
You can barely read us.
like the neon, like
green. on
yeah, it
black.
was just all that shit. And then like you
Yeah.
had like the scene wardrobe. That's all I can describe it as. Like
It's like a certain section of the JJ store in Australia, but it's probably more like there's shops like this in Melbourne.
Yeah.
Like
yes.
Dangerfield, maybe. I might be wrong there.
Dangerfield's kind of nice.
Roadhouse, is that the one I'm thinking of? I don't know.
I don't shop.
They're probably respectable brands. I don't know.
See, like, is Hot Topic like frowned upon over in America?
No, not necessarily. It was just cliche back then.
Yeah.
But this is like 10 years ago when everybody used to wear the Reptar shirts and post like selfies on MySpace and be like
Roar.
XD rar.
Rar.
Like purple skinny jeans and shit like that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Everybody used to dye their hair like Kool-Aid dip dyed hair shit.
It's still in, man. Still in. Never left, in my opinion. But I like Hot Topic as an Australian.
Whatever,
because-
Byler.
Byler. Because they sell a lot of wrestling t-shirts.
Oh, yes, they do. Yes. They have like good video game shirts and stuff there as well. Like I've bought a Mega Man t-shirt from
Oh,
there.
Mega Man.
Some cool stuff, honestly. Like, but that's only like
Cool affiliations, but like the most part is scene.
like I used to
Right.
go in there, get what I needed to do, and go. I don't hang around
Get your
there.
checkered vans and get out.
Man, you don't want to be caught hanging around there.
Yep.
Pretty much.
You might get
Is
some
it
kind
like
of ear
hanging-
piercing.
That was a really bad joke there.
You
but
might
that's
get a
all right.
Jacob's ladder.
What's that?
Oh man, if you don't know, don't Google it.
That isn't the King Henry, is it?
No, not,
that's
Prince
not
Albert.
Prince Albert.
it's not the Prince Albert.
Oh, really?
Yep.
The King Henry. It's the same piercing, but lower.
It's that. No, I'm not. I'm not.
Jacob's ladder?
Yes.
I love how like unfiltered this podcast is compared to all the other ones.
Whatever.
Whatever, man.
It apparently on Google's main page, it's a 1990 movie for an hour and 56 minutes.
It's also a really good Rush song.
Hey, yeah, you're right. We
I
shouldn't
was
have
listening
Googled
to
it.
Rush the other day. They were,
Yeah.
yeah, man.
Yeah.
ZZY or whatever that song's
YYZ.
called.
YYZ.
YYZ.
It's actually Morse code for the Toronto airport.
Is it?
He's just seen it. He's seen it.
I saw this,
Did you
but
see-
I don't think it's it. Is that it?
No, that's not it.
I was like, oh.
You need to turn your safe search off if you're going to look for something like this, Jackson.
Well, the first "did you mean" is Prince Albert. So
No.
I think
You
we're
got to
on the
look
right
up.
page.
You got to add some keywords at the end.
Is it
Like,
multiple Prince Albertses that look like a ladder?
It is. It is not a multiple Prince Alberts.
I'll have to check it out later. I don't know how to use
It's-
my phone.
We'll have
It's a
to,
Samsung.
We'll have to talk. So the Prince Albert is like at the top of the hill.
Yes.
The Jacob's ladder is the ladder that you use to climb up to the hill. If
Yeah.
that makes sense. Do you understand?
Is it all right? Well,
We've got to stop talking about this because
Is it a piece of rope?
it is not a piece of rope.
Is it a long piercing?
It is multiple piercings.
Oh, just
so it's
okay.
like a corset piercing, but let's
So
stop there.
it turns your young fella into a millipede.
Pretty much.
Okay.
It doesn't really matter
Understood.
because I don't think anybody's going to be listening other than my mother at this stage.
So we won't cut it then.
So my mother's probably the only person who's going to be listening right now. So shout
Hey,
out.
we have like 4 fans, man.
Hey, dude.
My mom listens too.
Does she really?
No.
Mrs. Ted. Mrs. Ted's mom.
Mrs. Theodore.
Hi, Mrs. Ted's mom.
Could Big Ted come out and play?
No, he's got to finish his homework. I'm just sitting there playing WoW or something.
Wow.
Wow.
Do you guys get into Vines at all? Have I asked this before?
I think you have.
I'm aware that you love them.
I love them.
It's like your ultimate downtime. You just
It's
You
like
just
I
gun
just
Vines?
smash like 20-minute compilations on YouTube.
Is Vine still a website?
No.
So it actually stopped.
It stopped. It was an app that was like for funny videos.
Yep.
Right? Then it just stopped. And then like Instagram obviously came around. So like all the internet memes can be referred to as Vines. So like the yodeling.
Come on, mate. You're being a real penis about this.
Like the yodeling Walmart kid, like that would be considered a Vine because it's a
Oh,
funny,
right. Yeah.
quick video.
Funny. Less than 7 seconds. That was the whole Vine.
Pretty
yeah?
much.
Cool.
Yeah. Classic stuff.
And you can bulk watch it on just YouTube now.
Just look up funny Vines. Honestly, you would just smash them out. There's some really,
Yeah.
there's some really good Vines.
I don't know. I have hobbies like playing Age of Empires on guitar.
Mm.
That's probably about enough anyway, I think.
Yeah. What the hell?
I think we're pretty good.
So, yeah.